Hey guys, welcome back to Whitty's Gear Reviews. First I want to say we're going to review this flashlight. It was sent to me by Through Night. I want to thank them for sending it out to the channel for us to review and give us an honest review. First I'm going to start off by saying a lot of people have commented that a lot of lights out on the market, way too complicated. They don't have a use for all the blinking lights and all that stuff. But they wanted a good light, good throw, but simple to use. I think that's what we have here with this Through Night, so this will go out to you guys. Now, take a look at the light right there. We'll pull it out, but let's go over some specs before we get into all the not so many bells and whistles. This is the Through Night TN12 EDC Tactical LED flashlight. It's going to be bigger than your small little everyday carry. This is more of a primary light system. This is going to be something that you have in your bag, carrying a vehicle, as opposed to carrying it in your pocket as your everyday EDC light. This is going to be your main light. Now, that being said, can you carry it in your pocket? Absolutely. We all carried back in the day those 6-inch tiny mag lights. This is not that much different. You see there, TN12, V6. You've got your user interface there. Tail switch on the back. Places to attach lanyards if you choose to. Got your charging port right there, USB-C. And your LED emitter. Now, what comes in the box here? You have your user's manual. I guess this is a lanyard. Oh, you get a replacement charging port cover. That's cool. You get a pretty long lanyard, but you have this little slider on here, so you can hook it onto your wrist and then tighten it down so it doesn't fall off. Cool little feature. Little logoing on there. You get, I guess we're going to have to pull it apart to figure out what this is. I think it's a replacement tail switch button in there. And then some extra O-rings. I like the fact that they give you extra parts, so if something happens, you can get your light back up and running. And then we have a pocket clip, which is two-sided, double-sided. Boom, so you could hook it down or up, whichever way you want to carry it. You could hook it to, the brim of a cap. It's a little bigger, but I think it would still work because it's not super heavy. Let's put all our spare parts in the same bag here. All right, there's all our spares. You have a pretty thick USB-C charging, USB-C to USB-A charging cable. Appears to be about 10 to 12 inches long. And you do have a carrying case, which I think is nice because not a lot of lights come with carrying cases no more. Because why? They design them to fit in your pocket. But this one, you could hook it onto your belt loop there and it'll fit all the way up to a 2-inch web belt. Or you could hook it to any of your D-rings on any of your bags and carry it on your chest. And then you run a piece of Velcro strapping around a shoulder strap, and that thing's not going to go nowhere. Perfect carrying for hunting. Anything where you're going to be wearing a backpack, this would be ideal, but you don't have to, right? Pop that bad boy around your belt and go to town. That way you can keep it out of your pocket. You can have your tiny little flashlight in there for that. So that's what we got as far as accessories and charging. We're going to leave the case because I think that's a cool addition. Then you have your light. Now, this light is 950 lumens with a 259 meter throw. It's got 16,800 candela. So that's going to be a fairly powerful light for its size. I like the rugged design. It's made out of 6061 T6 aircraft grade aluminum. And you can see the millwork on that. It's really good. It's got a nice texture right there. For if your hands are wet or you're wearing gloves, you're not going to let that slip out. It's got a little texturing there as well. And I do like a light that gives you the function of when I pull this thing out, I don't want to be trying to turn my light to figure out where the tail switch is. You've got momentary on by just pressing the button on the back, right? So if you pull this out and you just need to see real quick, you hit that back and you're going to get momentary on. But keep in mind, well, we'll go through that when we get to the features. You have 6 lighting modes on this light. You're going to have turbo, high, medium, low, firefly / moonlight, and then you have a strobe function. That's it. You're not going to have no blinky lights, flashlight lights, no 5.0 lights, no RGBs, no cob lights. That's what you're going to get out of this light. It's a no nonsense. I need to illuminate something, and that's what I'm going to do. It does have memory mode, so it's always going to recall the last function that you're on. You do have the tactical tail switch, which gives you your momentary on, like I described earlier. So, press it, nice and firm. You have your momentary on and you could release and it's off. If you don't want to hear a click, if you don't want to let nobody know where you're at before the light comes on. If you want to keep it on full time, press and hold and let it click. Now, what we're going to do is run through the user interface on this light. So this is your user interface. You got to turn your light on. Right now we have it set to where it's coming on in the moonlight mode. And then we're just going to cycle through. All right, so moonlight, you have your low, medium, high, turbo. Press and hold, flashing. That's it. Press and hold again, you're off. So, or you're back to moonlight mode. You have to depress the tail switch to turn the light off and turn the light on. So we were in Firefly mode. Let's test that out. We're back on in Firefly mode. We're going to change this over to medium, turn the light off, momentary, pressing the button. We're back on medium. Press the button and hold, we're on medium. So whatever you leave this off on, that is what your tail switch in momentary mode, which is just depressing without clicking, is going to come on at. So if you pull this thing out and you want it to be full on, then turn your light off in turbo mode. If you want it to be on the high mode, then turn your light off there. And whatever you had it on when you hit this side button, this momentary button on the back, the tail switch, is what you're going to get. So it's just a quick boom. Guys, that's super easy, not super complicated. Basically, you get to what you want. So we'll turn the light on. We want ours, let's say we want ours to come on. That's low, medium, high. We want ours to always be on high. We're going to turn it off there. Boy, something startles me. I pull it out of my bag, out of the pouch. Boom, we're on high. And on, we're on high. Now it's off. Your light is always going to come on whether you press the tail switch for the momentary mode or you actually depress it to keep it full on. You can also get into an SOS or do any of that stuff yourself, right? You just press the back. You can do whatever you want to with the tail switch. Guys, this is a no-nonsense light that just has a lot of power. We're going to look at the run times on this and see kind of what you get with the run times in each mode. I'll show you that. There are runtime logs there. Super simple instructions. It's not overwhelming. It shows it on this button right here. You turn it on. Right now you're in blue. If you're in blue, you are 21% to 100%. If it's red, you're 20% to 11%. If it's flashing red, you might want to put it on the charge. They even tell you that if there's no light at all, then it's dead. I think that's Captain Obvious, but they put it on there. So in the turbo mode, 950 lumens, you're going to get that to 60 seconds, and then due to heat, it's going to step down to 680 lumens, which you'll have that for 155 minutes. On high, that's going to give you 600 lumens. You'll be in 600 lumen mode for 3 hours and 40 minutes. Medium, 125 lumens, you're going to be there for 13 and a half hours. Low, 25 lumens, 45 hours. If you just want to find your car keys and you're in the small little Firefly mode, which is a half a lumen, 41 days. And your strobe comes on at 600 lumens. Again, 259 meter throw. 1.5 meter drop tested. IPX8 waterproof rating. It's what you got. And in a different language as well. So, not 100% complicated. This is a, hey, I need a flashlight, I need it now. Boom, there it is. Now I want to stay on for a while. You've got that. And then you can change your modes right here. And at any time, press and hold. Well, when you're on, press and hold. And you're in strobe mode. Press again. It's going to take you over to your Firefly mode. And then turn your light off. Or cycle it to whatever mode you want it on. Because right now, we're going to come back on the Firefly. So we're going to set this thing for medium. And we're going to turn it off. So when I turn it back on, we're back in medium. Super simple, guys. I'll leave a link in the description. You can find these on Amazon. If you don't know, Through Night's been around for a long time. I have several of their lights, mainly smaller ones. Some of their smaller little EDC lights, pocket lights, are great. I can only imagine having this one as my primary, one of their Through Light sabers for my backup. Cool lights. They work really well. And you don't have to worry about all the other functions, all the other buttons. You have two. One to turn it on and off and one to cycle through. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the Through Night TN12. Leave me a comment. 3 ways to support the channel. Whitty's Gear, buy me a coffee memberships if you want to help us out. 3 great ways. Soon, we will be starting our Whitty's Outdoor Adventures, which is going to be camping related, hiking related gear. Most likely, we're going to start premiering those on Wednesdays. If I have other content on a Wednesday, we'll put out our regular standard gear as well. But for you that want to look at more of the hiking, backpacking gear loadout, cots, cook systems, titanium forks, spoons, whatever. Anything you could carry camping, hiking, car camping, you name it, kayak camping, we're going to show you. Anyways, guys, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, click all them notifications. Love y'all. See you on the next one.